Hello, St. Olaf friends. I've been asked to comment just a few minutes about St. Olaf's carbon neutral claim with respect to its electrical energy generation. So here's a quick snapshot on what kind of to think about as we go through and understand what it means to be carbon neutral with respect to electrical energy at St. Olaf College. So carbon neutrality, what the heck does that even mean to begin with? Well, it means that we are getting energy from sources that don't emit carbon-based materials up into the atmosphere. So rather than burning petrochemicals, fossil fuels that emit carbon dioxide, methane, and a whole suite of other materials, we're actually trying to find alternative energy sources. So at St. Olaf, you can imagine the clearest symbol of an alternative energy that is carbon negative or carbon neutral would be our wind turbine. So the wind turbine provides roughly 20 to 25% of St. Olaf's annual energy in terms of electricity every year. So when that turbine is spinning, we are actually getting those electrons fed right into the campus grid and available for our use. Now, what does that mean? That it's only 20 to 25%? It means we have a whole nother pile of energy in terms of electricity that we need to provide to the St. Olaf campus. So the college has taken advantage of the Community Solar Garden platform to utilize that as a strategy for electrical energy. So the solar farm that we have, the garden is just west of the Northfield Hospital. We have a 40% subscription to that, as well as a fractional subscription to a whole host of other solar gardens. In this way, St. Olaf is actually encouraging the development of new renewable energy in the local area, at the same time trying to fuel itself on alternative, non-fossilized, non-carbon sources of energy. Now, that would be all well and good if St. Olaf could maintain the renewable energy credits with those solar energy subscriptions. Unfortunately, the renewable energy credits, which are the currency at which we evaluate carbon neutrality, do not come with subscriptions to solar gardens. The actual energy provider or the person maintaining the grid actually receives those credits. So what's St. Olaf to do? We're truly developing renewable energy on our properties. We're utilizing that on campus, but how do we actually showcase that we actually have renewable energy credits that show that we are actually carbon neutral? To do that, our principal energy provider in this part of the country is Xcel Energy. They have a program called WindSource that allows us to purchase renewable electrical energy done by the large wind farms out in southwestern Minnesota. And by doing that, we can actually obtain the renewable energy credits needed to prove our carbon neutrality. So where does that money come from to actually purchase that wind source energy? Well, it comes from the development of the community solar garden. The developer of that garden is actually paying St. Olaf rent on that land for the solar garden. And as such, the proceeds from that go into the college's operating fund. Well, that proceed is actually 5 times larger than the proceeds we get when we just rent that land for agricultural use. That allows us to pay the difference in the premium between wind source or just any other electrical energy that Xcel is providing to us. As a consequence, we now have those renewable energy credits. So, in short, St. Olaf is carbon neutral in its electrical energy because we have an on-campus wind turbine that has renewable energy credits associated with it, and because we have encouraged community solar development, and we take the proceeds from renting our land for community solar and purchase wind source with those renewable energy credits that remain. So that in a nutshell is St. Olaf's renewable electrical energy that is carbon neutral. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, there's other sources of energy that St. Olaf uses. You are correct. We use a lot of fuel for heating and cooling this place, and we use a lot of fuel for driving vehicles around it. That is not part of our carbon neutrality plan right now. But if you have an idea on how to make that carbon neutral, a lot of people would love to listen. Thanks so much for tuning in.